So that leads you into wanting to be a stunt woman.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
And so how did you get into that realm? Did you like meet somebody who like was from the MMA realm and then transitioned? No. Okay.
No,
So
I researched online what you could do with martial arts that, you know, I just researched different things.
Right.
I didn't want to be a coach per se. I don't want to be like a head coach. I don't mind assisting. So I was like, what can I do and I came across stunts. When I first told my husband about it, he looked at me and goes, why are you doing this?
I'm like, really, girl?
He's like, this is dangerous. He's like, this is just as dangerous as MMA. I know, but this is what I want. And at first he didn't take me seriously, but the more
you don't hear about that very often. People
don't.
talking about, you know, being stunt doubles and I
don't even think they have a category in like the Oscars or anything.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Isn't that
They
sad?
don't?
They don't. They're fighting for it right now.
Really?
They're fighting to get recognized, and I think they should because they have to act too.
Right.
You have to part of a comic book character is the action part of it, right? Could those? I mean, I'm sure there's actors that can do fight scenes and can do what stunt
But not like a
performers
professional
do,
fighter.
but not. There's certain stunts that they won't even let them do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
And you hear about stunt people like dying. Like I know Resident Evil, one of her stunt devils on the last one, either injured herself severely or
She
died.
injured herself severely.
Yeah.
It was a motorcycle stunt. And I believe she lost one of her limbs. I can't remember which limb, but she lost one of her limbs.
I remember hearing that and I was like, that is so crazy, like sad. But she still is like her upbeat and stuff. I've heard like interviews. I'm like, she's badass.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's dangerous. You're putting your life out there.
Oh yeah. For that beautiful cinematic shot.
Yeah.
You know.
That's cool.
And so you found a school, you were saying, that you're going to now to learn to train.
Mm-hmm. So.
And you have a lot already to bring to the table.
I do. So it makes me excited.
Yeah.
So I have actor friends that told me about how to go about making this dream happen. So they basically told me that I needed to go to Joining All Movement, JAM, and start training with them. So that's what I did. And then they basically told me about one of the stunt academies. And so I start May 10th over there. So yeah, so I'm basically doing everything I can to make it happen.
So just to touch back a little bit on your experience being an MMA fighter, one of the questions I wanted to like tap on was like, what was that like? I know fighting with guys or working with them, they tend to underestimate, but what was it like with the girls there, and you know, the relationships with the girls in MMA fighting? Because I don't know, there's always like, I feel like with girls there's only one good one, you know, like that's everyone's fighting for that one spot. But with guys, like everybody can be good,
right?
But I feel like you have to, with a woman, I'm imagining that you would have to fight for that spot. Or is it supportive or is it not supportive?
It depends.
From the other women.
So when I first started, there wasn't any other women. Fast forward a little more, I got to meet some other incredible women, and they are supportive, and you are, you know, I have lasting relationships with women that I started my career with, and we're still friends. You know what I mean? We're still super close, but we're not in the same weight class.
Okay.
And that's where it comes in. If you're in the same weight class as me, I'm sorry, I still won't talk to you because I still might fight. I still might come back and want to fight someday. So it gets highly competitive when you're in the same weight class, and highly catty.
Catty, really?
Yes.
I would. Okay.
There's like little remarks that people say, and you know, I like to be calm and like be very upfront, and you know what I mean. I don't take that. I'm like, if you try to be catty, I'm like, what? It is, yeah. It's like
to try to throw you off so you get too angry and fuck up.
Yeah.
What would you want to change? Like, what would, you know, just looking back, how would it be better for the next girls coming in?
I I honestly think that these young women need to listen to us pioneers that have done it, and we're trying to tell you because we've been through it.
Right.
We made mistakes, so learn from our mistakes, and so you don't have to,
Right.
so that you can do above and beyond anything that we
go
ever
further
did.
faster.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So
That's what you would change, yeah.
that's what I would change. Yeah, I wish I had someone, but there wasn't anyone.
No, but you were
So-
the pioneer. And so who else with you came up with you or right behind you?
So it was me, and then there was Misha Tate, who she became UFC champion. Shayna Baszler, who she is in the WWE now. She's a friend and mentor, someone I look up to.
WWE's more theatrical, right?
Oh, yeah.
Than actual.
And that's my first
Me too.
introduction.
WWF was
Yeah.
mine.
Was my
Still
first
quote Steve
introduction
Austin.
to like
My favorite.
China. I loved China.
Oh yes.
Me too.
You did too?
Yeah.
I loved China. But that was my first introduction to
But they don't really
girls
fight,
fighting.
right? It's just
No,
fake
it's
theatrical.
stunts. Yeah,
But
and
they still have to
acting.
know. Like,
Oh yeah,
not
you
to
have to
hurt
be
themselves.
athletic. Yeah,
Yeah.
to do that. But yeah, she was an MMA fighter. She fought in the UFC, and then she crossed over to the WWE and is having a.
Oh,
pretty-
China was?
No,
who?
Shayna Baszler.
Oh, Shayna. Okay. Oh, well, China.
No.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
It's a cool transition.
What was I gonna say? I feel like sometimes it was so hard to like watch MMA fighters because you do see them fight for real, and
yeah.
then with the WWF, like you watch them fight, but you knew that they were gonna be friends later.
Yeah. Well, they have their little dramatic like.
Yeah, and I
stuff
like the
throughout.
storyline that would lead up to it too. Yeah, you're right. Their dramatic
fun.
entrance.
Can you smell what the Rock is cooking and all that stuff? That was fun.
That's a cool like an example of someone who transitioned over from that realm. I know that they're totally different. WWF and MMA are totally different. I know, but for him to come from that and then be such a great actor, do you think that's what
true.
you would want to do too? Is get into acting as well, or just stunt doubling?
I don't want to, but I mean, if it happens, I'm not gonna be like, no, you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, if there's someone, if I'm a stunt performer on a set, and the producer, the director's like, oh, can you say these lines, or could you play this character? Could you, I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out and
Right.
and make it happen, but it's not something that I aspire to be. But maybe, I mean, I leave
Yeah.
the door open.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want to move to snack time?
Yeah, is this a good time to take a snack break?
snack
Okay,
break.
let's do a snack break.
I keep
We always do a
eyeballing.
little snack break, and
We have oranges.
but you know what we should do first? Let's do
they're not
before we do snack. Let's do a fish bowl.
Okay, is that
Let's do fish bowl first. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I guess.
So we have like a bowl of topics, words, or questions that you can pull, and then we either share a story if it's relatable. You don't have to answer it if it's because there's some naughty ones in there. And there's some good
okay.
ones. Okay, so go ahead. We'll let you go. We let you pick one, and then
Okay.
if it's relatable, you can answer it. But if you have a story, quick offhand, then you can go first or whatever. But the question, go ahead. So this is our fish bowl segment.
Fish bowl.
That's funny.
What is it? Oh no, what is it?
Have you ever waxed your pubic hair?
Oh, it's so funny that you pulled that one though.
Isn't that funny?
Because
Do you want me to?
wax
Do you want me to let everyone know?
Oh, sure. I don't care.
Well, I know the answer. Yes, she does, because I wax her.
And I'm not ashamed to say that. I tell the guys on my OnlyFans that I do that, and they're like, "Oh my god."
Oh my! You have so many questions about the OnlyFans, right?
Oh, I do. I have a lot. Just is such a new realm and
Okay.
everything. But yeah, I don't know. Did you want to talk
I'm
about it now?
super open about
Yeah, let's
talking
do
about
that.
it. I'm
Um,
proud of it. So
No, it's awesome. Yeah, I just think it's so cool to watch like strong women be embraced for this. My mom was a penthouse model, and it was back in the 70s
so
when
cool.
it wasn't
Yeah.
considered, like, oh, she's I don't know, it was just more frowned upon to
Right.
to show. And she was definitely like spread eagle and everything. I found them when I was 12.
oh wow.
But it's beautiful. Like I have her
Right.
tattooed on my thigh now. That was her
Can I
penthouse,
see?
like actual centerfold face.
Oh my god, I love it.
Left out the tits, but
Yeah.
because it's my mom.
Yeah, it's your mom.
But yeah, I just what I guess got you into the OnlyFans? Like, what was your inspiring?
Because it's such a thing that we're not, like, I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah, because I know you can, it's not all just like nude shots too. You could
No.
do like a cooking show, like you were saying, and all that. So what, I guess, is your fans, or your OnlyFans? I say it wrong.
It's okay. I sometimes say it wrong too. So basically, how I got into it is the first question. Is my husband brought it up to me. He's like, "You're beautiful." He's like, "You should do." It was during quarantine, and he's like, "You." I've always kind of wanted to. Backstory: I always want to be a Playboy
So that
model.
he'll support. But then your MMA fighting, he's like, no.
He didn't want me to mess up my
Okay,
face. He loves
okay.
my face. So.
So that's so great that he's supportive of that. Like, most men would be jealous.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he's so not jealous. Like, he gives me so much freedom. I love it. I told him I could never be with someone that's not like you. That just
Right.
lets me be me. He's never tried to be like, no, don't
do that. Don't be like that. Yeah.
Don't be proud of your body. Don't be proud of like who you are as a woman, I mean, I think it helps that when he first met me, I was a model, and he did go to my my bikini shows and like stuff like that I like petite runway bikini show, and then I did some mannequin modeling in a bikini or whatever. But the way I got into OnlyFans was he suggested it, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. He's like, Nicdali, haven't you always wanted to be a Playboy model? And I go, oh, you're so right. He's like, well, how long is that going to take? You need to create that fan base, He's like, on your Instagram, you're not even like, I don't really show that much on my Instagram. And so I was like, you know what? You're right. Why? And he's like, I was worried about my mom because my mom's very traditional Latina and she's very religious and stuff. And he goes, is she paying our bills? And I go, good point.
Yeah.
He's like, since when have you cared what your mom thought? I was like, oh, you're right. So I embraced it and I started doing it. And I'm so glad that I did because, I love my fans.
Yeah, so tell me, like, how does that work? How, are you, like, communicating with them? Is it like Instagram? Is it
It's a lot like Instagram.
Oh, it's a lot like Instagram.
It's a lot like Instagram. There's a story, there's a post, and then there's DMs.
Okay.
I know I've subscribed to some of the other girls just to see what they're like. Not everyone talks to their fans. Some people charge to chat with their fans. I don't. I chat with them. When I have free time, I chat with them.
And what are you guys chatting about?
All kinds of stuff. We talk about fights. We talk about jujitsu. We talk about art. We talk about music. We talk about sex. We talk about,
Do they ever get like super inappropriate?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you have to ever cut them off or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I do. Sometimes I have to be like, hey, like, you're being disrespectful. Like,
You're going too far.
Chill out. You're going too far. Or, you know what I mean? Or sometimes I'll ask for things, and right up front when they sign up, like, I let them know, like, how my page is, how I do things, the boundaries.
And what is that?
Well, I just do implied nudity.
Okay.
So I don't show my nipples. I do sometimes show like the sides of my nipples.
Right.
I don't show my pussy or my butthole.
Yeah.
But I don't have anything against that.
Right.
It's just, I'm just not ready to do that. You know what I mean? I will one day, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind, but you know what I mean?
Right now you don't want to.
Right now I don't want to. I feel like I need to hold out on that. You know what I mean? So
those are the guidelines, or that's what you tell them, like,
that's what I tell them right up front.
Okay.
So that way they know, like, don't expect that,
How much does like a subscription cost for something like?
So mine is $16.66.
Okay.
So a month, and I do unlimited chatting. I send them pictures daily, so in their DMs.
Okay.
And there's ones that have been with me
so how do you, like,
over a year.
Because they request it from you? They're asking you for a picture, or you?
No,
you just send them.
I just
send
send
all
it to
of your subscribers. They have pictures ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Every day I send them, and a lot of girls don't do that. They don't daily send them free stuff, and I do. I chat with them daily, you know what I mean, and I naughty talk with them for free, you know what I mean. Like, I'm not like, oh, here's $6 to chat with me, blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Cool. And then they can request also photos from you, and you
And
would charge
videos.
more for that, or
Yes.
videos, and like what kind of videos? Like just sexy pictures, or
they all want different things.
what's the weirdest thing, or the oddest, I guess, thing?
The weirdest thing was belly button fingering.
That's a thing.
It is. I had no idea.
Okay. I love doing that to my boyfriend.
That's funny.
Just randomly, I'll just do it. I don't know. It's such a weird thing. I know. Okay.
Yeah, they're like,
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
nope, you're not.
I don't know. I think it's so funny. And Johnny will be like, "Are you fucking my belly button right now? Are you fingering my belly button right now?" Like, yeah. That is so funny. I love that.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Okay, I guess I'd be on that train too. Sorry, Nicdali.
No, it's okay.
But okay, wait. Are you doing your own though? They're asking you to do
They
your own, or
requested.
they're having someone else
They
do it for you?
requested that my husband do it. Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay.
That's cool though that they're working with the husband too though. That's fun.
Well, he doesn't really like to be part of it. He's like, that's your thing. But if
Yeah.
they do ask for stuff, then he's like, okay. But
To your belly button or to his belly
To
button?
my belly
To
button.
your belly button. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I'm sorry. My fault.
but there was one that one asked me for. Oh, I know that your husband's a trainer, so can you show me some warm ups and exercises?
Okay.
So that's not even sexual. Like they
Right.
wanted that, and then some of them will be like, "Oh, can you show me how to throw a punch or something like that?" You know, or
That's cool.
they want to see me twerk in a G-string, which I
Yeah.
do. That's like my favorite.
Well, you have like the best butt. It's
Thank
like
you.
amazing.
Thank
I want that. I want to have a butt like that.
you. Girl, I didn't used to have a butt.
Really?
Mm-mm. I had to
See-
work so hard for this.
So you can build your booty
You
up.
can. Mm-hmm.
Is it like the squats and lunges? And
There's like a booty workout that I do. Yeah. And so squats and lunges are part of it, but the thing that I feel like made it plump up the most was like doing jump squats and split squats.
Split squats.
Mm-hmm.
What's a split squat?
I can show you if you want.
Yeah, can you show us?
we
Yeah.
also wanted to see some if you were up
wait,
for the
Yeah.
punching bag.
Okay. Yeah,
when
we'll
we
have to do
go
that.
over there, I'll show you guys how to
Okay.
do it.
All right. Now let's go ahead and do our snack time. That is so funny.
That
Okay.
question was funny. Do you wax your pubic hair? Like, of course I do.
Yeah. Do you, Danielle? Do you wax?
I've never waxed.
Do you
my
shave at all?
I shave, yeah,
Oh, okay.
but I've just always been afraid to wax. I don't know. I've just never done it.
See, I
Girl,
can't handle
it'll change
the
your life.
Yeah.
It
the-
probably lasts a lot longer.
It does last longer, but like the grow back, like when your hair is growing back from after shaving, it's torture. Don't you? Do you remember?
Oh,
doing
yeah,
That? I remember doing
it
that in high
hurts.
school. It's itchy so bad. You can't even cross your legs. It's
It's
like
like your crabs. You're like, wow.
yeah. Yes. Can I
I-
have you hold that?
Okay.
Okay, you hold our baby.
I
one.
had a
baby
guy
one.
ask me to grow my bush out, and I straight up told him no.
Yeah.
I said no. I do jujitsu, and if you've ever done jujitsu, like when they pass a position called your guard, which is like you have your legs wrapped around them. Basically, like I had hair ripped when I used to have hair. I had hair ripped out.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
gosh.
Do you know how painful that is? I was like, never, ever again will I do that. No, thank you.
That sounds awful.
It was. I cried.
Oh.
So
So it's different than getting it ripped out with wax. Then.
yeah, it is.
It's after.
It is.
It's yeah. So then it doesn't take. Yeah, that's totally different.
I should try it one time. I always thought it'd be funny to do an episode where I'm getting it waxed for the first time, but obviously not showing that part. But the
Just your face.
For
Yeah.
our
Oh,
OnlyFans
that's awesome.
Our OnlyFans page.
she
But I
wants to
keep
get
threading.
one so bad.
I keep threatening that we're gonna have an OnlyFans for our podcast.
You should do it.
I think it would be cool to hear from you, like maybe some relationship advice because you've been with your husband for so long. Like, I don't know, like maybe like red flags that you like advice to other people, or like what would be a good question for like a relationship advice? Do you think, Danielle?
I guess just if you were have you ever been in a toxic relationship? So maybe the red flags in that, or sometimes you don't see it right away. Sometimes it has to fester.
I'm trying to think of what was a red flag for my ex. Probably like when he got angry, he would be very like talk down to me, like you're stupid, or you know what I mean. Not like not physical, just verbally like talk down to me and like try to make me feel like I was like little.
I had one who didn't like when I socialized, so he would talk down on my friends, call them bad names, or like put them down, like, why are you hanging out with them? So and so is this, and
That's
that
like
was a warning sign.
That's their way to like isolate you from
Mm-hmm.
everyone else, to like have control over you.
Because the less support system you have,
The less
more
likely you'll leave.
And then you can't talk to someone and then be like, oh no, like, you know, have someone to warn you if you have no support.
That's true. Very
So
true.
what would like that would be a red flag? You're saying? But then how do you get out of that? Like,
bye. It's hard though. It is hard.
It is hard.
It's not just bye. Yeah.
it's not just because a lot of
It's
people
not.
like it's also logistics, right? Like when they're in a relationship, they can't just leave. So
If you're in the house, payment together, or like stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you how my mom gets out of toxic relationships.
okay.
I watched her. She's been married 5 times.
Oh wow.
So-
I've been married 3 times.
Okay.
I mean, she's had her fair share of toxic relationships
Oh,
that
yeah.
I've witnessed.
So that probably taught you a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you would think, but I'm like a hard learner. You know, it takes me a few times to go through it and finally put my foot down, and you know, I don't know. I think it, except for the abusive part, like the hitting stuff. Like I seen my mom Maria go through that. So that was like one thing I was always like, if that ever happens,
You're like, I'm out.
Like that's the line that can't be crossed. But I don't know. Tell me about your experience or your mom's experience.
What she would do, and what I've seen her do every time, is when she plans. So what she does is, because you're married and you're financially blah blah blah, so she starts hiding money, and then she starts building her bank account, and then so she then she sets up this little fund, and then she plans on like, where am I gonna live, and then you know what I mean. And then when she leaves completely. She doesn't want anything to do with that guy. Not money, not nothing, she's never taken
calls,
no, yeah. She said, I don't speak to them for 2 weeks at all. Because she said the first 2 weeks you're going to be emotional. So
she just leaves.
Just
completely.
leaves.
Like he walks in and everything's gone.
and everything's gone and she doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
I mean, because at that point, like, they're physically abusive, like, you know what I mean? You can't reason.
leave.
You can't reason. You can't, you know, verbally say, like, you know
There's
what I
no
mean?
like, we're gonna be friends and break up nicely. There's none of that with people like that. Or toxic like that.
That's a good advice. It's
I
so
mean,
hard.
That's true for me.
When do you think toxic comes out? Like, because I know the couple months you go through that, like, what is it called? That, like, happy honeymoon phase.
Yeah, the honeymoon
I guess
phase.
every relationship's different, but I feel like the true colors, I don't
Yeah.
know, like 6 months maybe. I guess it just depends how much
It
you can hide.
depends on how well they can hide it, you know?
Yeah, their mask starts to slip after a little while, and they can't.
My mom's ex-husband, the one that was like almost killed her, he was so good that like the whole time they were dating, and then once they got married, he like, I don't know what it was. He's just like
that's
psycho.
my fear. That is that's so funny you just said that, because I was just thinking that right before you said that. I was like, that's my worst fear, is to meet someone and then they're like your dream partner.
He was.
And then as soon as you get married, they become
My property, mine.
Yeah.
Da-da-da.
Yeah.
That scares me.
Yeah, that's what happened. Like, they went on their honeymoon and he freaked out and slashed her tires.
Yeah. crazy.
Yeah, I was
see
like,
my mom's
whoa.
boyfriend do-
Well, talking about toxic relationships, I wanted to make a movie about the perspective of the actual toxic person, because most toxic people don't know that they're toxic.
Yeah, which is so crazy to think about because I never even like thought about their side of it, just other than like, how I'm being treated or the other person that's being treated.
It would be fun to get the audience to sympathize, kind of in a way, to why that's happening to them.
Yeah.
Kind of like the villains, like the Joker movie, the new one, understanding.
Well,
the
that's
arch.
true. That's true. Why he is like that.
Well, there's always a reason why, like some deep, dark things
Yeah.
that happen to them, and they can't. They haven't like elevated themselves to like move past that. You know what I mean? So
Right.
there's like triggers. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like me. Like if someone grabs me, they're gonna get punched, like
Yeah.
or fucked up.
Yeah.
It's just like it happens like this. I don't
Yeah.
even think about it.
Right.
It's like
It's your
this.
first reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't grab her. Got it.
What would be some like good relationship advice, like communication, or because I know that a lot of people talk about red flags and all that stuff too, but what are some like
So I would say the biggest thing is be 100% honest. Talk about everything. Like I say that that's the biggest reason why my husband and I are still, after an eternity together,
Yeah.
we're still deeply in love with each other. And I tell him everything. I tell him I'm attracted to this person, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like I did this today, like at the end of every day I was like, we talk to each other, even though like sometimes we're there together a lot, but he's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing, it's just
right? You're still two different people.
yeah, you
Yeah.
got to communicate, you know what I mean, even thoughts, emotions, even like the littlest things, you just
So what would be like the best, or what would be one of your advice to keep that communication going, or having that with your partner after so long, or not even that, for couples that are not
just
been together
talk.
that
Like,
long.
put your phones down and like actually talk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And be receptive.
Yeah,
be receptive, yeah.
Because sometimes someone can say something and you have to make sure you take them serious and that you're absorbing it.
Yeah. What about people's passes? Like, do we just like accept them for who they are, all of their past, or like,
I feel like you have to if you want to move forward with that person. You can't hold it over their head forever. That will become that toxic relationship eventually.
right?
that's true.
So you have to let it go if it's something you didn't like about their past.
Because like, what can you do about it anyway?
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like that's who they are, and that's why you are attracted to them to begin with, because of the things that they went through, and that's what it's made them, I guess, right?
Oh yeah.
For sure.
So just talking. Put your phone down and talk. That's the advice.
Yeah,
Talk
they always
and
say
be honest.
communication.
And
Sorry.
be honest.
No, they always say communication.
That's
Yeah.
the number one thing I would
That's
say.
hard for so many people, though,
Oh,
to
it
like
is.
find the words and like to not feel shame in what you're trying to share, or judged, or to be accepted.
Or to even how you said, like when you say you find someone attractive, like to be in that level of confidence without those insecurities.
Yeah. That's great that you have that with your husband, that you can feel that comfortable and not feel like judged or.
Yeah. Well, it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
He'll tell me when he's attracted to someone. I'll be like, oh.
So what is that like? What does that look like when that's being shared?
So we like to like jokingly bring it up. So we'll jokingly bring it up, and I'll be like, "Oh, I noticed, blah blah blah." Or like we'll just like kind of flirt, you know,
Yeah.
with it, like
Yeah.
flirt with each other about it. Oh, I was like, "Oh yeah," like I don't know. It's just how we. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you guys have an open relationship, or are you just
No.
Oh,
It's not open, but it is. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like its own thing. Like you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
but you know what? That's like that world is like that. It's all custom. It's however you feel comfortable. Just because like someone says we have an open relationship, that doesn't mean like my partner gets to go fuck whoever they want to fuck.
Right.
There's like
100%.
rules that comes with that. Like, okay, I don't know, like if I had an open relationship, then my partner, for me, I would feel comfortable with like knowing who that person is and being okay with them seeing them,
Right.
the other person. But it can't just be whoever they want to fuck.
Right.
And I feel like that could be different for someone else. Maybe they don't care about that. Like maybe that's okay. Or maybe it's like only couples. You can only hang out with couples. You can't hang out with another
Right.
single girl. There's so many different like
Boundaries that have to be
boundaries, but that's custom to like that person. And I feel like I'm hearing it more and more now. I don't know why. I'm just hearing it more. People talking about it like online and or on social media, or like there is this. Have you heard of the Red Table Talk? Jada Pinkett Smith's talk show.
I've heard of it, but I've never watched it. Or
They just recently shot an episode about that. Basically, like different partners, where like one lady was dating the husband, but not dating the wife. But the wife and her are friends, like they know each other, and that dynamic worked for them.
right.
Another one was like two couples were dating each other. Yeah, I mean, it could be whatever you want it to be in that world.
Right. Yeah, I'd say we don't have an open relationship, but to some people it might be open. You know, like they might interpret it that way. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Just because we are so like open and honest with each other. Like if they've heard him talk about other women in front of me and vice versa. So it's like, you know what I mean? But
Right.
everything we do it together. I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't want to get into like every detail, you know.
Well, yeah, of
'cause
course not.
Some stuff is private.
You
know what I
you
mean?
want to keep
But-
it for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Have you ever been in an open relationship? No.
No.
I have.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Was that like hard to deal with, or was that fun to
It was
be in?
fun.
Or
I think because we weren't serious, like
yeah,
you know what I mean. It was just like fun. Like you know, I was with a female that I really was really in love with at the time, and she had another girlfriend, and then sometimes we would all three be together. Or whatever,
Right.
You know? So
like together, Justin. Like we're gonna be in a relationship together, or just together, just having sex.
Just together,
Together
having
having sex.
sex, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you, Michelle?
Yeah, I mean, so I had an ex, where we had relationships, it wasn't like an open relationship, but we had like sexual experience with other couples, but not like we were dating them.
right.
But we became really close friends with them, and we would go on dates, and then it would lead back to our place, you know, having sex at our house. But like, it was not like a relationship though, not like that.
More like swinging? Is that a difference
Yeah,
to it?
I think it would be like swinging.
Okay.
Yeah, they call it the lifestyle. It's the lifestyle. But for me, I always wanted to like, it couldn't just be random people. I didn't like that, like strangers.
Yeah.
We went to a place one time in a hotel, and there was like I thought it was going to be like a mixer kind of thing, like meet people that were kind of in that lifestyle. But it ended up becoming like a fucking orgy. I was like, what the hell is this? I just couldn't do it because I didn't know any of these people, and I wasn't
Right.
comfortable, and it just didn't feel right for me. But they were obviously like loving
They
it and
were
enjoying
loving
it,
it.
and they were fine with that, and that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
But yeah, I like to meet the couple, be friends with them, almost like we're dating, but we're not. We're just
Right.
hanging out and then creating a close friendship, and then I feel comfortable with that realm. But
What do they call that when you have to know someone? Like, it's a sexual orientation where like you have to know them
Before having
before.
sex.
Yeah. What do they call that?
I don't know.
There's like a word.
What is it?
Sapio.
Sapio?
Sapiens.
Because they're sappy.
It's spelled
Yeah.
S-A-P-I-O.
Yeah, that's it.
Sapiosexual.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
So they have to feel a
Sapio.
connection in a
Yeah.
way before they'll.
Before you can get sexual.
Yeah.
Sounds romantic, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm a romantic.
I think I'm a romantic too. Like I love to joke around and like kiss a girl in front of my boyfriend, and like I'm a very raunchy, dirty, vulgar person. But then when it comes down to it, I guess I'm more all talk because I'm like, no, it's just me, and my boyfriend. Okay. Like I get very shy, and I'm like, oh, I was just kidding.
I was just kidding.
Okay.
Making out in front of my boyfriend, but I was just kidding.
That's how I am. He always says I'm all talk, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I do like to like play around with the idea, but then in the bedroom, I'm always like, it's just me and you, right? Yeah, that makes me happy.
Oh, well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, it can be whatever you want it to be.
That's true.
But I'm glad that people are being more open and honest about it,
Right.
you know, and not feeling like they're hiding a part of them. They don't want, you know, to share it.
I used to hide it just because I was like, oh my god, if my mom finds out. And I'm like, you know
I
what?
know.
She's got to accept me for who I am. I'm an adult. You know what I mean? She's got to love me.
I feel that fear too. Even just now, like just sharing that. I've never shared that with anyone without any. I mean, just the people who were involved, but I've never like now everyone else. Hi, you know. But yeah, it's even now I feel like there's like a knot in my stomach. Like, oh God, it's out.
You feel good, like released, not a knot.
That's how
like,
I came out. Whenever
Yeah.
I came out and said that I was bisexual, I was like, oh my god. I was like, oh wow.
Well, because I feel like I don't know how long ago did you come out?
This year.
This year? Okay.
Oh wow, that's recent.
So I feel like now is a good time, but like in the past, like if you ever said you were bisexual or whatever, that's like I don't know. It's always like oh she's a slut or it's like she hooks up with
Slut shaming.
everybody.
Slut shaming.
Look at her hooking up with everyone now. Yeah, yeah.
For sure. I come from a religious family, so they see it in a different way. Like it's not supposed to be like they always
Oh,
go,
yeah.
Oh
God
my God,
made
my family's
Adam and Eve, not
extremely
Adam
religious.
and Steve.
My
Oh,
yeah.
Yep. My mom is super religious, but she's grown a lot lately. I'm proud of her. Like the other day, she was telling me about how she loves Amanda Nunes, who's the UFC champion, and she's an openly gay MMA fighter with her wife, who's openly gay, and they have a baby together. And she's like, "Oh, I love Amanda. She's amazing." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Mom, you know she's gay." She's like, "I don't care. She's amazing." I'm like, "Finally, like
Finally.
you're growing up."
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're growing up.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we'll turn or like switch topics real quick. Like I want to also know like what's been on your mind lately that you feel like you want to share or talk about on the podcast. I know we talked a lot about your past and you know the things that you're involved in, but what's like been like weighing on you?
Lately, I've just been trying to really enjoy the journey of building my comic book.
We didn't
Building-
even get to talk about
I
that. I
know.
really want to talk about that for sure. Like,
Okay.
do you mind if we stop
we
and
can-
go there?
yeah,
Yeah.
we can
Okay.
go
Let's
there.
do that. Let's go. Okay. Share us about your comic book and how that got started, and what inspired you.
So what inspired me was to write my comic book was growing up. My mom did take me to a lot of ancient archaeological pyramids and sites. You know, the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Olmecs, and then I was just enthralled when I was a little girl. My grandmother showed me a photo album of her when she went to Egypt and the Great Pyramid of Giza.
wow.
And I was like, what are these ancient cultures? You know, when I was little, I just thought it was just Mexico.
Right.
And it just opened my mind to the ancient world and the whole world. And I've always, since I was a little girl, been fascinated with ancient civilizations and what they were into, what they were doing. And so fast forward to 2019 when I went to Hawaii with my husband, I saw how their culture is very much still, their native roots are very much still part of their culture. And I wanted that for my culture. I want us to reconnect with the Aztec, Mayan, the ancient civilization. There's so much knowledge that they had that we have been basically like cleansed of knowing. You know what I mean?
Like what? Like, is there?
Oh, there's so much. Like, did you know that they were the ones who first cultivated tomatoes? And so when, you know, they basically, the colonizers or like, you know, Columbus or whatever, they came over, they took it back to Italy, you know. Did you know that chocolate was first cultivated by the Mayans?
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? They had a varied palette of food that was very relatable to what is today. You know what I mean? There's things like that. There's like ancient wisdom that they had, philosophy, astronomy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, you know, it was witchcraft, you know what I
Right.
mean? So there's a lot of that, and then there's the myths. There's not very much on the myths, and when you go online to research it, they don't even know. There's like cross, you know what I mean?
Right.
So basically why I decided to do the comic book was I wanted to reconnect with that. So it's not based on myths of Mesoamerican, but it's inspired by.
Okay.
The characters are inspired by Aztec, Olmec, Mayan, you know, all the Mesoamerican ancient cultures. And I want to bring some of their myths to life, you know, so I'm using some of their myths as inspiration for my stories.
Like which ones?
It's just different ones.
Different ones,
Whichever
okay.
ones I'm like, oh my God, that's gold, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
So you did mention earlier that you're not an artist with drawing, so you're illustrating the comic books?
No, that's my next thing.
Oh.
Shout out to Jillian Alexiel, who is my illustrator. Without her, I could not have created the comic book. I do create the stories. I created the characters. Like I want them this way, but she makes the whole world come to life.
Right.
Without her illustrations, I
have nothing.
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she does. I don't know what it is. We have a synergy between us, and we talk for hours. I'm like, oh, listen. So I've commissioned her for paintings for me since 2012. And so that's how we started working together. And then I brought this idea to her during quarantine. I was like, I'll pay you to do this. Will you do this? This is a big deal to me. You know, I told her about the concept. I said, first question though, is this something you would love to do? Because
Right.
I don't want anyone that's just gonna like to do it.
Right.
And she's like, no, she was equally excited about it as me. And she still is. And, you know, we balance each other out. Like, she helps me, like, we motivate each other, you know. So
No, because that's
really
good
work
because
together.
you'll with two people somebody will start to lose their momentum and the other one can help lift the
Yep.
other one up.
That's happened
Yeah.
so many times with her inspiring me and vice versa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We feed off each other.
What is the main character?
Her name is Colonel Dolly.
Colonel
and
Dolly.
she's inspired by me.
And then
So-
she has superpowers.
She is so they're from the planet of Shabalba.
Okay.
And so this planet is flesh, if you can picture like human skin, like around a whole planet, and inside of it is like rivers and oceans of blood.
Oh my gosh.
So that's the planet. That's where they're from. So to them, like drinking blood is just like drinking water. It's
Okay.
not. And so they come. So basically, the story is they're coming to another planet. They're trying to navigate it, and on this planet they have powers because they're aliens. They're vampires.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
Yes, they're vampires. So, and yes, each character has their own unique superpowers.
Okay.
So.
Where can we find these comic books?
You can find them on the Miss Mexica comic Instagram. There's a link, and there's a digital one, and it also shows you the next chapter, which is we're working on chapter 2, Jillian and I. And then there's also like a printed version too. It's basically issue 1.
Okay.
So
That's cool.
thank you.
So is she a superhero?
She's not a superhero.
Okay.
She's not a villain. You don't know. Like they're like people. Some, like we talked about, some people don't realize that they're toxic. Like
Right.
some of them will in certain points of the story they will be the bad person, and they'll be the good person.
Wow.
Like real life.
Like real
Yeah,
life.
like real life. Yeah. I love that. And I love the character. Maybe we can, is there a way that we could like
the
edit
clip.
in a photo
Or
of
the photo, yeah. Because I remember seeing it on your Instagram, I believe. Yeah.
I love that. So I want you to give us, if you can, like shout outs to where people can find you
Okay.
and follow you.
And we'll put it all at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you can even say though, like we'll have her say, go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah, for
You can,
sure.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I want you to go ahead and
So,
like.
if you want to find me, it's the same across the board at Nicdali, Nicdali. Let me say that one more time. Nicdali. So that's on Twitter. That's on Instagram. That's even on my OnlyFans.
Yep.
It's the same across the board.